All right, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the Rogue Hangout. My name is Alesha Drew, and myself and John Paul today are going to be sharing with you why it's dangerous to be in your comfort zone and why you need to evacuate immediately. So today's hangout is going to be a little bit shorter than usual, as there's just the two of us today. And with that being said, we want to thank you guys for coming out and sharing your time with us today. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below the video, as we'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that like button. And yeah, with that being said, I think I'm going to pass it over to John Paul to get us kick-started here. Take it away.
I'm a news anchor again. Um, yeah, you know, the one thing with a lot of people when they first start going into business for themselves, or you know, when they come online, what we've noticed is there's been a big pattern of destruction that's been going on, and the pattern comes from one characteristic in general, and that's the characteristic of being comfortable and being okay. And being comfortable and being okay sometimes are the two most detrimental things that you can have to your business. It's pretty much like flying a kamikaze plane right into the ground, because what happens is your drive and determination kind of wavers off, and the original reasons why you got into business for yourself, some of that drive starts waning away, and it starts just tapering off. And you know, there's no one in this business that there's no one to tell you to get up and go to work. You know, there's no one that says, hey, you got to do what you have to do today. Like, no one's punching you in the side. You know, there's no alarm clock going off that says, you know, today you were doing this, 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 and this. It's all an internal drive. And, you know, just being comfortable. You know, we heard another speaker talk about this, and it really struck a chord with us at our last event when we were down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I think it's North Carolina. I think that's where it's at. I don't know if it's North or South Carolina. That's what happens when you start running an online business. You start traveling to places you lose track of where you're even at. You know, so you know, that's not really a bad problem to have. But at one of the events, Neve Arthur was talking about, you know, being comfortable. You know, and how she was. I think was she working at Starbucks? Alesha, is that where she was at?
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, it was Starbucks.
Okay. Yeah, so she was working at Starbucks, and I think you can probably leave yourself unmuted because I'm not getting feedback or anything, so we can pretty much have, you know, an open discussion here. You know, and she had talked about how she was okay with just going to work, you know, and she had thought what she had was kind of stable, and you know, she was just okay with going and doing her thing, and that was good enough for her. And then whenever, you know, the bosses said, well, you only have so many hours this week, she just, okay, you know, no problem. And then she just went on to keep doing it. And then
Bless you.
it's allergies in California, I guess. Pardon me. Hopefully that wasn't too loud, and I apologize, guys. But you know, she had talked about how she had just accepted things, and that you know, her, and I think, did she talk about being like with her boyfriend or husband at the time too, and like, or was it just her by herself?
I'm not too sure at that stage. I just remember her talking about how she worked at Starbucks and it was so dangerous because she was comfortable. That's the main part that I remember, but I think that she was. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's something like what Alesha said. You know, when you are working, you know, in a regular 9-to-5 job, and it's just pretty much like, oh, just okay to get by, it's very easy for you to settle back into the old habits. You know, and it takes a good, you know, solid 90 days to instill any new habit you put into your life, whether it's, you know, eating healthy, whether it's working out, you know, on a structured plan. You know, it takes, you know, 90 days to get to turn a habit into, or to turn a behavior into a habit, to where it's just automatic. It's just what you do. And so, you know, as we were progressing with our business, you know, we had a talk the other day, Alesha and I, we were just sitting down, and we kind of had an open discussion about this, and it really struck a lot of, it really hit us hard, because we realized what was going on. and we were finding ourselves, going back into being comfortable and being okay, you know. And here's the scary thing. Yeah, I love what I do, in both aspects of my life, both online and offline. Even though I still love what I do in the motorcycle industry. I absolutely love it. Now, granted, there's days where it's work. Don't get me wrong; it's still going to be hard work. But at the end of the day, I love what I do. So it's one where it was very easy for me to realize that I was becoming comfortable. And I was becoming, number one, comfortable either with a new position, or a new pay scale, or anything like that. And it seemed like I had started climbing the corporate ladder a little bit. And what I realized was, the minute that I became comfortable, it's kind of like the beginning of a new relationship when you were younger, or if you're not married and you're single. At the beginning of a new relationship, you'll have where you try to do everything perfect. You're dressed great, you smell great, you're shaving your body in places you never knew you could shave. You're doing all kinds of weird stuff that's what you do. And you're on point. You're tidied up. Everything's good to go. And you also have this new fascination in your life, and that's what happens though. When in business, we try to bring that back, that whole going back to a different time in your life and thinking back to how fast time went, but also how focused you were, how attentive you were. Were you having dinner? Were you sitting down with your iPhone or your phone? Were you actually pulling that thing out in the middle of a date? No, you were actually having a conversation with whoever was on the other side of it. We were sitting there having dinner the other day, and then we just I realized that I didn't really say anything to Alesha, but I realized that boom, there comes out the phone, and at that point, I think we were at BJ's when this happened. So we went to just a local place just to grab some food real fast, and then all of a sudden I realized that the phone was out on the table and it was getting used, and I was like, oh man, I've had we haven't been near each other or anything, and out comes the phone, and the phone was taking priority, and it just made me realize that we were both becoming comfortable, too comfortable. Yeah, we've been in a relationship for is it going on 4 years now?
Yeah.
All right, 4 years. So, so granted, now you can slide into some very comfortable situations sometimes, because that in business, just much like in a relationship, there's going to be certain people that see you at your highest and your lowest, and they get to see your real you. And the real you is what you do when no one's looking. It's do you pick up the trash, that you fell out of your car when you got out of it? Do you pick that up and throw it away, or do you just leave it on the ground? It's what you do when no one's looking. And how comfortable are you with those actions and those behaviors? There's nobody else that's going to police you in doing any of these things. It's really up to you to do it. So I just had some of these subtle things that I had noticed, and then we had to talk about it, and it wasn't like, hey baby, you kind of ignored me on your phone. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just we had to talk about, I wonder if our business is much like what we notice in every day, is that we're becoming comfortable and overly comfortable. Because when you fall in that comfort zone, you think that everything's always going to be okay, and everything's always still going to be there, and it's going to be fine and dandy. At least in our company that we have online, we have what's called an attrition rate, and that's where how long people can stay in before they pretty much drop off the face of the planet and do nothing with their life. And I don't know where these people go. They just shoot off to outer space. They're just gone. I don't know where they're at, but these people, they just leave. That's a good latte. Thanks for that, babe. I appreciate it. Now, people they just disappear. So we have an attrition rate with our business. So we have to keep continuing to get, obviously, more and more people, or more and more customers, not people, just more and more customers into buying some of our products and services. And same thing with any brick and mortar store, any regular retail business around the world. You're doing one of two things. You're either trying to get more people through the door, or B, increasing the amount that you're selling to the people that are already there. One of those two things. And you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So we took an evaluation of our business and realized, yes, we're overly comfortable right now. and we're just kind of plugging along in a slow pace, and we're not really taking massive action in our lives, like within our business with it. We took massive action with our lives, and we've done some major moves here recently, and they've paid off tremendously. It's been a really, it's had its ups and downs, like anything else. It's had its ebbs and flows. And when we looked at our business and evaluated what was going on, we hit the comfort level, and we said, "Oh, hell no, this is not good." So I think that once you hit that comfort level, it becomes destructive. It becomes pretty much like you can almost implode, because even in a relationship, a couple years go by, all of a sudden that's when, you start getting comfortable with how you speak, things like that. You can lose a little bit of like a respect level sometimes. You can not keep trying to strive for excellence, like as a person, and that's stuff that granted, I don't know why it happens. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of it, but I think it has something to do with some prior subconscious programming in our brains that we have to work out. So I've been babbling on here for a while. So Alesha, do you have anything else on any of this that any topics or points that you kind of had at all?
Yeah, definitely. I like how you said, it's a fascination. I liked that you said that, because within our business, and especially our business, one of our 8 core commitments is to read daily, and another one is to listen to audio daily. There's things that we do in our business on a daily basis, and I think that continues the fascination, which is what you just mentioned, and becoming that action becomes a habit within 90 days. So I find myself reading every day and listening to audios, and I'm doing that on autopilot. I'm not thinking to myself, oh, I have to do this today. It's something that I do, and when I do that, I learn. I'm learning something new every single day, and I'm keeping my fascination level up to scratch every single day, because I'm learning something new and I'm staying focused and inspired. So I think that was a really good point you mentioned. And, going back to what you said about how we realized we were comfortable, there was also another moment where we were watching The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith and his son. And I'd never seen the movie before, and I couldn't believe I'd never seen it, because I absolutely loved it. And every entrepreneur should watch this movie, and if you haven't watched it, I urge you today to, check that out, The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a story of struggle, and he hits rock bottom in his life, like absolute rock bottom, and it's a lot of the time it's those people that hit rock bottom, they've got no other place to go. They've hit the lowest of the low, so there's no other choice but to move forward and change that. Their should becomes their must, and that's what we need to remember in our business every day. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You don't have to hit rock bottom to realize that your should become your must. And that's the realization I had when I was watching that movie. I was like, wow, I've become comfortable, just comfortable enough, as Neve said at our event, you become comfortable enough that it becomes dangerous, because you're happy to stay there, and you don't realize that you're actually not making your should your must. I must succeed, I must get the results that I want, not I should. So I really hope that makes sense with you all today, and I would definitely check out that movie. And if you've already seen it, watch it again. It'll re-inspire you, and watch it and ask yourself, am I in my comfort zone right now? Because if I am, I need to evacuate immediately. That was a huge realization for me as well the other day. And, I want to urge you all today to do something that's uncomfortable, and do something uncomfortable every single day. When we first started doing these weekly hangouts, just speaking from myself, I was nervous. It was the fear of the unknown. I'd never done this before. yeah, I'd been on a few hangouts with other people, but we'd never actually had our own. So when we first got started, of course I was nervous, I was uncomfortable, I was a little bit scared. It's the fear of the unknown, and that's normal. And the key is to actually push through that and do it anyway. And once you do it, you're going to feel so good that you did that. You're going to feel a level of achievement that you've never felt before. And as the weeks go on, it gets a little easier. It doesn't become comfortable. It should never become comfortable, because you're always learning and you're always bringing value to everybody. It makes you a better communicator. It makes you more confident. It forces you to provide value to people, like what we're doing right now through reading, listening to audio, training, videos, things like that. And, once you do that, you need to actually make sure you're implementing what you learn. You can learn everything about everything. You can know everything about everything. But if you don't actually take action on that and implement it, what good is it? It's no good at all if you've learned all these things and you know what you need to do and then you never take action on it. So I want to urge you guys today to do something that's out of your comfort zone. Step out of it. I'm sure there's something that you should be doing, that you must be doing, that you're not doing. Okay, and you're not doing it because it's out of your comfort zone and it scares you a little. It makes you nervous. I mean, as long as it's ethical and moral, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and do anything that they shouldn't be doing. But think about what that is and go out there and do it. As I said, it will really make you feel good and give you a sense of achievement. And that brings me to a point, a statistic actually. There's a staggering statistic that over 70% of people who buy products and services online, so I'm talking about people who buy things online, and specifically in regard to our online business, it's people that buy services and products online, like trainings. These 70% of people never actually open the product and learn what's inside what they bought. 70%. When I heard that, I was just absolutely staggered, but at the same time, it didn't surprise me. People are willing to take the first step, which is great, and, purchasing and investing in themselves and, buying the information that they need to grow, and they feel great about it, but 70% of people are not actually going through the product and learning what they need to learn. It just sits and collects dust, or if it's, as I mentioned, online, it's just sitting there and it's not being opened. Now, I really hope that, I know that if you're on this hangout, you're not one of those people. Because not only do you need to learn the information, you need to actually implement it as well after you've done that. And that's where the uncomfortableness may come in, because you're implementing something you've never done before. Okay?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't mean to butt in here, but when you talked about how it will be like an uncomfortable thing at the beginning, that's actually very true. And in that uncomfortable space is actually where people grow. For instance, every day, like I'm in normally about 5 days a week, I'm in a competitive sales environment, and also online it's a competitive sales environment. Things are a little bit different on how just we approach things. Now, in that competitive environment, let's say you have somebody new, like a new sales associate, or someone's coming into your business new as like a new employee or anything. A lot of times, the easiest way to get the fastest results sometimes is for me to be open and honest with people. And I tell them, I say, whoever it is, whatever their name is, we can say Bob. And I say, Bob, I'd like to just have an open discussion with you real fast about some of what you're about to go through. Now, there's a lot of training that's involved with this, and if you've never been direct with customers before in that space, sometimes it can be a little unnerving. But don't worry, there are going to be times where I'm actually going to take you and push you into an uncomfortable spot. You're going to get, feel like it's very uncomfortable. You're going to feel like you're squeezed into a box. But I tell them, don't worry though, Bob, because when you come out of the other side of that, I'm still going to be here with you, and you're going to be a better person because of it, and you're going to realize now that you've actually been able to effectively do everything that you need to do to be self-sufficient on now. And those sales associates or those customers or not customers, but those sales associates or those team members, those are the team members that actually appreciate it more because I was open and honest with them, and also because I pushed them out of their comfort zone. And then they had to realize, as long as you identify that that's what you're going through, sometimes it's good. Now, some people, they don't want to know what the hell's going on. It's like getting a shot. I don't want to look at it, anything, just do it. Get it over with. But you're the one that has to go through those processes, though, so you have to know that you are going to be uncomfortable. And those associates and those team members that I've had over the years that have openly embraced being uncomfortable and that will actually allow themselves to step into uncomfortable territory every now and again, they just believe that they're going to come out of the other side better or okay. It's what are they going to die? No, it's kind of like the Hangover movie where there's Chan. He's like, but did you die?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, but did you die? And he does that all the time. He's like, so did you die? No. So you're still breathing. You still have all your arms and your legs and your limbs. Your head's still attached. What are you complaining about? You didn't die. You're okay. Keep going. So that's what it's like. You have to be uncomfortable to grow, and that's just the growing pains that you go through. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. That's good. It means that you're growing and you're gonna be better when you're done. So, and also with that, you're never really done. I mean, as far as with business, I've heard people talk about saying, oh well, I've hit the top and there's nothing else. Like once you hit the top, the only way to go is down. And that's other people saying that once you hit the bottom, the only way to go is up. That is true. That is true from the bottom. Now, what can happen though is you can find sometimes in your life where you'll have to go laterally, sideways, and make little shifts, and then you'll go up, and then you'll go laterally, and then you'll go up again, kind of like a set of stairs. That's okay. That's actually a good thing because it means that you're identifying certain things that your business needs, or you hit a certain level and you might get stuck there. I mean, stuck is stuck no matter what level. Some people are stuck at $50,000 a month. Some people are stuck at $5,000 a month. Some people are stuck at $500,000 a month. Stuck is stuck, no matter what it is. And retail businesses do this a lot. They'll go through a really big growth phase, and then they'll blame it on the economy with everything. Oh man, I think I have a big truck. Can you hear that? That big truck backing up out here? I'm out on the balcony out here, so I have a big truck backing up, so it might get loud. So if it is, just let me know.
I can hear it, but I'm not sure if it's coming into the computer or not. We apologize if it is.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think I don't know. I think they were doing construction or something. I don't know what's going on out here, but who knows? But either way, if it's loud, I apologize. But moving forward, getting back to it, stuck is stuck. It doesn't matter where you're at, but you have to identify it. It's like I was going to say, some retail business can be stuck. They'll top out. They'll go for a couple years of about three to 4 good years of really good positive growth, and then sometimes things will slow down, and it's just the economy, or sometimes they'll blame it on like how much traffic is coming in through the door. Well, good businesses will turn around and realize that even though they might have traffic as far as how many people coming into their store, foot traffic, or online businesses, you might have less visitors coming in, but the quality of what you're providing could be better, so you're actually offering a better product, and you're actually yielding more sales because of it. So you can actually do more with less. It's just uncomfortable because you've never done it before. And actually, that's actually a really good thing, because that means with the same amount of visitors, you would have actually probably doubled what you could have done. So, it's realizing those things later on, in your business. And, I wanted to touch base on that a little bit too. Even if you're a seasoned veteran, even if you're new, if you have a brick and mortar business, if you work every day with customers, or you have your own service or anything, this is what is actually taught within our products. And that's actually what is taught in here. Yesterday we had a really great meetup with locally with just a friend of ours. We've grown to actually look at this individual as a friend now, and not really a customer or anything, but we just showed him some of the stuff that we kind of do on the back end of everything behind the scenes, and let him kind of see exactly what goes on. And I think by doing that, sometimes people don't realize how often people like train, and how often people are doing what they say they're doing behind the scenes. A lot of times you'll see, Alesha and I, there's a word that gets thrown out there called guru, which we both just, it's like a 4-letter word to us. We're just like, ugh. Like, it's like someone swearing at us. Because, there's not really a guru. Like, these are people that actually worked really hard and busted their ass to get where they're at. These are people that sacrificed a lot, and these are people that kept understanding that they needed to surround themselves with brighter individuals than they are, and this is a business where we have to, well, any business is, you got to check your ego. Now, unless you're in like an athletic environment, ego's okay in a lot of that because it carries you along. If you're an ultimate fighter, you better have an ego when you step in that ring, because that's going to help carry you and fuel you a little bit further. That'll help you dig deep. But in regular business, not even regular, we're actually in a non-traditional business, which is becoming more traditional online. Now, people don't see all the shots that we're taking behind the scenes that we're actually missing. People don't see how much traffic that we have coming in. People don't see how many ads people make every day or every week. People don't see that like what you go through. They don't see the hours upon hours of building correct links and tracking and analyzing all of our stats and organizing our lists and segmenting everything and building quality emails and writing decent blog posts, and all those things. They don't just magically appear. Now, we've learned to outsource some of the stuff that we don't. Number one, if we don't like doing it, we'll at least grasp the concept of it and then outsource it so that we know what the heck's going on. So we know that we're not getting ripped off with our money. Highly advise doing that. But that's what is taught within our products, is actually how to do all this stuff behind the scenes. And for a long time, at the beginning, 2 years ago, before I went online, I started looking around for the how-to of everything. Like, how on earth are these people actually even doing it? I was smart enough to see, okay, well, clearly they're selling something here. How are they selling it? And I was kind of smart enough to go and look at some of the links and see, okay, well, it looks like this is a tracking link, and they're doing this, and they're setting it up this way. And then since I was in sales, I started just looking at how things were being sold to me. Well, I started looking for how to people that talked about the systems behind it all, and I couldn't find any real information where it was all in one spot. And that's how I came upon Empower Network, and that's where there's nobody actually out there effectively teaching this stuff unless you're going to be paying someone $50,000-$60,000 for private one-on-one coaching. And sometimes that private one-on-one coaching is actually just a quick crash course just to get your gears turning and to get that initial motivation, fueled with it. And then you're just kind of left to the wolves with not really any system to back it up. And that's what you get paid, or that's what happens when you do a lot of this one-on-one coaching. So sometimes one-on-one actually isn't the best, because you're not going to grasp everything in like a 48-hour intensive training session with somebody. You're not going to be able to grasp the whole thing unless you have camera strapped to your body from every single angle, looking at everything, and truly soaking it all in. Will you ever actually grasp what someone, that's pulling in, a couple $1 million a year, what that actually looks like, from a zoomed out view? You won't be able to catch all that within a day of 48 hours. But those are intensive trainings that people do later on once you have your business established. That's a good thing to do later on. So, at the beginning, a lot of people think you need a lot of the one-on-one. The only one-on-one training that most people need is actually one-on-one with themselves and the product that they spend money on, and they actually need to use it and develop into it. Because that's taking the shots, and that's practicing all the shots like Michael Jordan did, and that's missing all those free throws before you started sinking 9 out of 10. That's when there's the payoff at the end, and most people don't see all those missed shots. Because I think in the course of Michael Jordan's career, it was like 22,000 shots that he missed or something. When you think about it, it's like an insane number. You're like, what? Really? He missed that many shots? But the shots that he did end up sinking were the ones that, the buzzer beaters, everything, winning the championships, the big dunks that come in out of nowhere. Those types of things are all practiced. but they're at a way where now it's on autopilot because they had basically built a system into their body because it's on autopilot now. It's all repetition. It's muscle memory, and that's what our products actually teach you how to do. You can refer back to everything in one spot. You can go through everything. And when we first got started, babe, how much did we spend pretty much at the beginning for everything? How much was it our total investment? It was, what, like, we've probably got like, almost 10 grand invested.
Yeah, I mean, to get all in with our products at the regular price, it's just over 5,000. But I know that sometimes we have bundle packages available that are under 3,000, where you're actually saving a couple of $1,000s right now. But for us, I think that's the initial investment that we put in over time, and that was just with the core products, let alone marketing or any other material that we need, setting up autoresponders and tracking and things like that.
Yeah, I think that like overall, once we got set up with like everything, and we went through all like as time progressed over the course of like 2 years, we started off and we were slow out of the gate. We were, but we took everything at our pace. Now my pace is different than Alesha's pace, which is different than your pace. Everything we have, we all learn at different levels. But the one thing is implementation. We can all implement things as right as we're learning, and it's learning and implementing. And that's the big key. That if I had to go back and say what would I do different, I would implement everything straight off the bat the minute that I was learning it. Not really ignorance on fire, because I kind of have a guide on how to do a lot of it, and that's what our 15K formula was. Well, actually still is actually the how-to product of everything, like how to do it, pretty much almost everything. That, and then our new team building formula has just been phenomenal. That in and of itself has opened up a lot of concepts to how to actually keep people around, and actually keep people, basically at that beginning stage of the relationship and keep that fresh, and how to actually build upon that. And I think that was those two products alone were critical for our advancement within a lot of the stuff that we do. But now, talking about that, we spent a lot of money to get started on this. We actually have the opportunity right now to get started for $7. I mean, it's $7. There's a button down below this video this is, I think, does it say get started? It's a bright, like, green, bluish looking button. It's hovering somewhere down there. So click on that button, get started today. It's $7. Now, Alesha and I haven't really talked about, a lot of incomes that or anything that have been generated, but just to be clear about this, you want to see our income disclosure at, empowernetwork.com/income.php. You want to go there, you want to check that income disclosure out. It's updated live every 24 hours. And it is average earnings, but I don't like average earning statements because average sucks. I don't aim for average. I shoot well above that. That's kind of how we were talking about the comfort zone. Comfort zone is average. I don't want to be average. So, average, I'm abnormal, like above normal. And so is Alesha, and hopefully you are too. So you can still check that out if you want to as well. We invite you to. It's open. But, get it today for $7. And it's something where truly it's a no-brainer. It's information as well too. There's a lot of information that's in there. Get started as well. Come aboard, see what we're all about, and start the journey to get you going to where you want to be. And I'll leave. I think I'll let Alesha pop back on here in a minute too. But I'm just going to leave with one nugget of information that helped me recently. There's been so much information that lands in your email inbox. You're peppered with it every day about what to do, what to think, and what program is going to be the right one for you, which one's not a scam. And I don't even like associating the word scam with our business, because even using that word, that's another 4-letter word, because you will scam yourself out of anything if you don't apply it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I could buy a course on weight loss. Hell, I've bought a course on the whole P90X program, Insanity, but if it just sits there and collects dust, whose fault is it? It's mine. I scammed myself because I didn't do anything with it. It's my problem. It's my fault. It's my money wasted. So, the word scam, as you're going around with it, and there's tons of network marketing companies out there. There's tons of opportunities of working at home for everything. I mean, there's magazines at the drugstore you can buy. There's all kinds of stuff out there, but the key to it is anything that you focus on and you put the time and effort into, and if it's a focused, concise effort continuously, you will see a result of some sort. Now, can I guarantee you that you're going to have, I can't guarantee you any type of income, but I can guarantee you that you will come out on the other end as a better person if you go through any product of ours at all. That's one thing that I can say. You will come out a changed, better person because of it, because your mind will have been expanded. You'll learn concepts that nobody can ever take away from you, no matter what business you go into, no matter what profession you go into. We've been talking to some chiropractors. We've been talking, things like that are local. Our business practices that we use can actually apply to everybody. These are sound principles and systems that can apply to everybody when implemented. So click the button below for $7. Get started today. And I forgot the main thing. What I was going to say. What I was going to close with. There's all that information that's out there online. That you get peppered with, and choose 3 of the best people to follow and get your information from. 3. Only choose 3 people, and listen to those 3 people. And just don't waver from it. Get your information from people that live in the lifestyle that you want to live, that are actively doing what you want to learn how to do. Everything. People that just people that have it going on and that you can jive with. Even if it's not me, even if it's not Alesha, seek out a proper mentor. Seek out a mentor is not someone that you have to work with every day and hold their hand. One of my mentors that I get a lot of information from is Dan Kennedy. I actually get a lot of how to market to affluent people, and so many of his courses that he has and books that are out there are just tremendous. At least for me, for where I want to go. Now, he's a mentor of mine, but he's mentoring me through his books and everything that he has, and that's something where I really like the style. I really like a lot of what he teaches and how he teaches it. It just makes sense to me. Now, it took me a long time to actually find some people like that, but I had to seek those people out. Now, what was happening, though, was before that, though, I was getting all kinds of screwed up, and I looked like the stock market crashed because I was just up, down, up, down, up, down, and then just flatlined, and it went dead. I looked like an EKG machine just flatlined because I just got so overwhelmed with so much stuff. And that's what it was just stuff that didn't help me, and it didn't make me a better person. So just be considerate of where you're getting your information from and who you're getting it from. And there's people that are out there. Ask yourself this one question though: if you wouldn't change places with that person and walk in their shoes, do you want to be getting information from them? And that's the rule of thumb that I use. And it generally doesn't even have to be about money. There are some people that I admire because of the way they have their family life structured. The way that they hold certain things dear to them and how they have things organized and what they make a priority in their life. I know that Frank Kern, a lot of people know Frank. You see him online everywhere, and he's considered one of the big names in consultation and marketing online and different systems as well. Now, Frank, a lot of people don't know this as well, like how his time is mostly spent with his wife and his daughter. Those are things that when I watched any of his sales videos and stuff later on, that's when I would hear the small things, like as he progressed through life, and I actually got to know like some of his backstory. That's something I resonated with, and that I think that's important. So I would rather talk to a guy like that, And then there's a few other people that I get information from as well too. But these aren't people that I'm calling up every day going, hey man, what should I be doing today? No, I just model after their behavior and certain things that they do, and that's what we teach as well, is how not to hold people's hand, because hand holding is only going to get you more hand holding. It's like, people are going to expect more of what you give, and if you're giving crap value to the marketplace, they're going to keep expecting you to give crap value, and you're just going to stay stuck, not progressing. So that's pretty much all I've got for it, but just click the link below, get started for $7. I mean, and truly, if you don't have $7 to get started for anything, you should not be online right now. You should be go get a job and get everything prioritized for you right now, because clearly, we'll still be here doing our thing, come back later on, but that $7 is not going to be there forever as well either. I think it's actually going to be taken down. I think in a week we're going to be taking that down. We're only going to leave it up for about a 1 week time. So, and then, all right, Alesha, anything else you'd like to close off with today?
Yeah, just to piggyback off a couple of things that you just said before we close out, I want you all to realize out there, as John Paul mentioned, majority of successful people, they went through massive amounts of struggle, and at some point in their life they did hit rock bottom before they became the success that they are today. We see the glory, but we don't know the story a lot of the time, majority of the time. Unless, people have inherited wealth, majority of successful people, they came from nothing. They put the work in, they put the grind in, they did what was uncomfortable. That's what they did. And they continued to do what was uncomfortable to get them to where they wanted to be. And they're always learning, they're always growing. As we say, the most dangerous words in the English language are, I already know that. You never want to be saying, I already know that, because there's always something else to learn. Also what John Paul mentioned is, you've never hit the top. There's always more. And that's another thing that successful people will always do and think, is there's always more. There's always more to learn. There's always more to achieve. So I want you to remember that success doesn't happen overnight. It's the small, simple decisions that we make every single day that are usually uncomfortable that get us to our success over time. It doesn't happen overnight. We live in a society where we want everything yesterday, and you've got to realize that it takes time. But once you make the decision and you implement that decision and you become uncomfortable, is where you'll grow. So to close out today, I want you to watch The Pursuit of Happiness. If you've watched it, watch it again. I get goosebumps when I say the name of the movie, because it's such an inspiring story of somebody that went from rock bottom to success, and it did not happen overnight. Okay? I want you to hit the button below this video. It's $7. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Get in, get plugged in with our system, get plugged in with us, get plugged into a community of like-minded people for $7, and, get started. I mean, that's always the most difficult part for majority of people, is just getting started. That's the uncomfortable part for a lot of people. Just click that button and get in, get started for $7, and we look forward to seeing you on the inside. And with that being said, we want to thank you for sharing your time with us today, and we'll be back at the same time next week, bringing you more value. And we hope you enjoy your day, and we will see you next week.
Hold on 1 second though, hon. When you get in for $7, sorry, I didn't say this earlier, but when you get in today as well for $7, make sure as well too that you'll either get an email from either Alesha or myself directly. I know that we're not going to have our assistant handle some of this as well. We want to be a little bit more engaged for the next couple of months. So we're actually going to be doing a lot of this stuff directly. So be on the lookout for an email from either Alesha directly or myself directly once you join, and we'll actually set up a 30-minute private one-on-one coaching call. It's actually just going to be a business plan call to actually see exactly where you're at, where you want to go, where you want to be at, and how you can actually fast track there. So what are some of the steps you can take right now to implement to actually start yielding the best results? And you can actually get a little bit one-on-one time with Alesha and I, but you got to get started. I mean, we're obviously we want to teach you guys how to live a life that is a lifestyle of your design, and of being the architect of your own future, because it's your duty, it's your right, it's your obligation to your friends, your family, the people that love you, to be at the best that you can be. So with that being said, I know that get started right now. I look forward to connecting with everybody out there as well. So feel free to leave any of the comments that you have as well too. Leave them down below. You know, or you know, if you're on any of our email lists as well too, you can reply back to, you know, Alesha@mavericklifestyles.com, or you can do myself, JP@mavericklifestyles.com. That's MAVERIX lifestyles.com. So that's Mavericks with an X at the end of it. So, you know, I look forward to connecting with anybody. You know, granted, don't send us weird stuff in an email, because you're going to get weird comments back. You know, you'll get a Jackie Chan meme sent back to you. I think my buddy Darren already has one made up. I think so. It's actually hilarious. So, you know, but you know, we want to, you know, we want to be professional about this, and you know, we take this very seriously. So, you know, we expect that you do as well.
See you guys next week.